AI is revolutionizing the gaming industry, and one of the most fascinating areas where this is happening is with non-playable characters. Those NPCs are no longer just there for you to talk to, but now can adapt, evolve, and even learn from your actions in real time. Traditionally, NPCs in games have been pre-programmed with specific behaviors. They'd follow a set routine, patrol an area, say the same line, or react to the player in predictable ways. But that's starting to change thanks to advances in AI. Developers are now using machine learning, procedural generation, and behavioral algorithms to give NPCs the ability to adapt to your actions on the fly. For example, in Red Dead Redemption 2, NPCs are programmed to remember your actions and treat you differently based on how you behave. For instance, if you start causing trouble in town, the locals will get hostile, and you might be recognized by your past deeds. This creates a living, breathing world where your choices feel like they matter. Another game pushing AI boundaries is The Last of Us Part 2. Here, NPCs use emotional AI to communicate. Enemies shout the names of fallen comrades, react with fear or anger depending on the situation, and even change their tactics based on how you're playing the game. It makes combat feel intense and personal. Then there's No Man's Sky, which uses procedural generation and AI to create an entire universe. The game uses AI to generate planets, ecosystems, and even wildlife, making sure no two players will ever experience the exact same world. This makes it so that instead of developers manually creating each planet or NPC, the AI generates them based on rules, creating endless variety. There is also something called adaptive AI, which is used in games like Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Here, the Nemesis system tracks how you interact with certain enemies. If you beat them, they might come back later stronger and with a personal grudge. If they beat you, they rise in rank, making the world feel alive and reactive to your every move. Another fascinating advancement is emotional AI, as seen in The Last of Us Part 2. NPCs now have personalities and emotions that can influence how they respond to different situations, making interactions feel more human. They're not just enemies anymore. They're dynamic characters who can outsmart you or act unpredictably. One of the most exciting developments in NPC AI is the ability for NPCs to learn from players in real time. Imagine playing against an NPC that studies your combat style, your choices, and your tactics, and then adapts to counter you. In fact, developers are experimenting with reinforcement learning, where NPCs train themselves based on player inputs. This can lead to smarter AI opponents that evolve alongside the player, keeping the challenge fresh and unpredictable. The game AI Dungeon is a perfect example, where the AI writes entire storylines based on the player's decisions, creating a completely unique narrative for each session. Game developers are talking about how AI is allowing game makers to create much more complex worlds that feel genuinely reactive. Some say that the goal with AI is to create an experience where players feel like they're playing with or against real people, not just lines of code. And it's not just about making games harder or more realistic. Developers are using AI to make worlds feel more immersive, more unpredictable, and more personal. As this technology improves, the boundaries between player and NPC are blurring. In the future, we could see NPCs that learn from the entire player base, AI that draws data from millions of players and adjusts its behavior accordingly. Imagine playing an open-world RPG where the NPCs evolve over time, influenced by how players around the world interact with them. AI could also be used to create more emotionally intelligent NPCs, capable of understanding and responding to player emotions. Picture a horror game where the AI detects your fear level and heart rate and adapts the intensity of the scare accordingly. That's where the real potential of AI lies, creating a personalized, evolving experience for every gamer. AI is already reshaping the way we interact with NPCs, making them smarter, more realistic, and more responsive. From adaptive enemies in Shadow of Mordor to emotionally driven NPCs in The Last of Us Part 2, AI is changing the game, literally. And as AI technology continues to evolve, who knows what incredible experiences await us in the future. If you thought NPCs were just background characters, think again.